Hello everybody, welcome. We are 101 Great Goals. This is Facebook Live. I'm Benjamin. This is Jeremy. This is Ben.
Bang the table a little bit harder.
Bang. Well, it's going to be banging today, mate. It's going to be absolutely banging. And I'll tell you why it's banging. It's because we had another amazing night of Champions League football last night. And here is today's question that we want you guys to get involved in. Are UEFA biased? If you think UEFA are biased, hit the shock face with the Cristiano Ronaldo offside goal. If you don't think UEFA are biased, hit the no. It's very simple. Angry face. Guys, why are we talking about this? UEFA, because the big game at the Santiago Bernabeu last night, Real Madrid came into the game with a 2-1 lead over Bayern Munich. It was an amazing 90 minutes. Bayern turned it around in the 90 minutes, 2-1. But then Real Madrid went on to win the game 6-3 on aggregate. They are through. Cristiano Ronaldo hat-trick. So much to talk about. But there were plenty of terrible decisions in this game.
Right.
There were offside calls, there were red cards that could have happened, there was a lot going on. Right. So let's just start off by having, Jez, did you enjoy the game? What did you think of the game overall?
Look, there's no denying the fact that, two European heavyweights meeting, they've actually met quite a lot in the Champions League. I think that's the 8th or 9th time or something like that in the Champions League era. I knew they were tied going in for qualification of the next round, so now Real Madrid are one ahead. I think that it was an awesome game. I didn't expect Ronaldo to get his 100th Champions League goal, which is fucking ridiculous. In the large scheme of things, 100 Champions League goals, given the amount of games he's played, is amazing. I think the game as a whole across the two ties was really, really good, was really well balanced, and I thought Bayern did a great job of putting themselves in a position to get back in the game, especially with Sergio Ramos scoring the own goal. I think on the large, in the bigger perspective of things, Casemiro definitely deserves to get a red card, especially if Vidal did. And, you can argue that the offside goals for Real Madrid, you can argue one of them was offside for Bayern. I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of injustice in football, but that offside was a bit ridiculous, but it normally tends to balance itself out, and I think Real Madrid deserve to go through.
Ben?
But UEFA well, I know it's not Barca and it's Real Madrid, but I do think that they're biased. Go for it.
I think there's a strong case for UEFA being biased.
Right.
Because Real Madrid and Barcelona are by far the most popular teams in the world. The huge following, fan base. Would people be that interested in a Bayern Atletico semi-final, say, if that was what it turns out to be, as opposed to Real or Real Atletico?
And you said that yourself. They've gotten to how many semi-finals in a row?
7 consecutive.
Semi-finals.
But they are also the richest club in the world, and they also got the best players.
You can say they deserve it, but a large extent of that could be semi-biased. I don't think they're fully biased, but I think it is quite
overwhelming how many people were upset with the Hungarian referee, and there are jokes that he's the best Hungarian since Ferenc Puskás to play for Real Madrid.
Barcelona are looking to sign him for the game against
Madrid tonight. Victor Kasai, that's the name. Victor Kasai.
But again, I those who have watched Facebook Live before when we've discussed Champions League games, I made the same mistake that I made in the first legs and watched Leicester for the majority of the game. Right. So I really missed this whole tie, except for the last. Well, I flicked over for the half hour, the half hour at the end, and then the extra time. So for me, I didn't see the Casemiro. I've only read about it. Right. But the Vidal challenge was, he got the ball. It wasn't one of those. The offside call, you could say, look, those go either way. Ramos scored a very similar goal in the Allianz Arena in the first leg, and that was called offside correctly. But Vidal was a clear tackle. And I think what's caused a lot of the anger with the referee decisions is that we all saw the friendly a month ago, or maybe less than that, where Spain-France, where the VAR got it absolutely right. And I think when you see these decisions go against, it's irrelevant really who it's against. If it goes against a team, then there just needs to be technology so that there is no debate about whether UEFA are biased.
100%.
Because it should be up to Ancelotti or whoever's on, or just the officials to say, look, did Vidal get the ball or didn't he? And then we can know, and then we can just push on with the game. And it was a huge decision for them.
Yeah, it certainly changed the momentum of the game. I think
Bayern
Munich were attacking Real Madrid. I think it was pretty evens. They both had an even share of the ball, and they were both threatening. And as soon as Vidal got sent off, Real Madrid just were on them.
Guys, we're getting a lot of comments from the community. If you want to get involved in the vote today is are UEFA biased? Currently, just over 100 people, 109, 111 now think that UEFA are biased, and 84 think that they're not biased. Get voting in the emojis.
Real Lona.
We have some comments.
Keep going. You've got a whole show to get a proper one out.
Lee comes in and says 2 goals were offside.
2 goals were offside.
Well, actually, 3 goals were offside, but we'll get to it.
That happens in a lot of football.
Yeah.
That is like the one with Ronaldo though. He was almost on, so you can understand why the decision was made.
Oliver tries to come and defend the referee. He says if you look at the photos, the linesman isn't in line with them, so he obviously couldn't see the whole thing. It happens. Powdy says the better team won. Adrian got in touch and says Lewandowski was clean on goal when they gave him offside, so that he's flagging up another dodgy decision that happened in the game. Abdullah says absolutely robbed, and then people are talking about Casemiro that we're going to get to as well. A Norwegian guy writing from Mexico. Well, hello, Norwegian guy writing from Mexico. So let's go through some of these decisions. The Ronaldo, the first one. So here we have it. I mean, it's
Real UEFA.
You know, as you can see, this happened in
Madrid Lona.
This happened in injury time. This was the breakthrough goal that put Real back in control of this game. I mean, it wasn't really even close here. I mean, this is a poor decision. I mean, there's nothing to talk about here. It's offside.
No, but it was close because he comes back. He chests the ball down towards the edge of the area, so it kind of was close. It was very similar to the Ramos one.
That's the line.
It was offside. It was offside, but it was close.
Right.
That's the line.
Like if it was Ramos, I think he played it in. So if Ramos had delayed by a millisecond, he probably would have been onside.
But he wasn't. Look, one thing we need to get straight is we don't give enough credit to referees. I don't normally, claim to back referee rhetoric, but if anyone's watched Monday Night Football recently, Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher actually went on a mission to try to be a referee.
Right, it's not easy.
And they absolutely failed, and they're like, I have a whole.
But then we had on Sunday.
Respect
we
for
had
referees.
on Sunday Mourinho giving more praise to Richard Madley, the referee, than he did to Marcus Rashford, who
100%.
scored. So.
But guys,
if it goes your way, you praise them, and if it doesn't, you don't, basically.
Yeah. Well, this was the first one. That was a disgusting decision. The second one, here we go. Let's take away the poll so you can have a better look. Marcelo, a lot of people actually didn't see this one at the time, I don't think. Everyone was so enthralled with how amazing Marcelo was in the game and how an amazing run this was. But, sorry, this was again offside. Yeah. The graphic is clear. Ronaldo's knee, his arm, his head, it's all over. Yeah. The ref shouldn't have seen it. The lino should have seen it.
Yeah.
Did the Bayern players protest that? Or was they were already out by then? They already felt they were out. It didn't feel like because I remember I think they cut away on the TV to Ancelotti standing on the touchline.
Right.
And it wasn't like, I know he doesn't rage generally, but he wasn't, it's not like he went nuts.
Something I do want to bring up though is what happened to a striker's advantage. Like no one discusses that anymore. Right. I do think that's offside, and the first offside is.
Would VAR give that offside?
VAR, yes, because you can put GPS in people's shirts. There already are GPS in
but it's very slim, that one. It's very slim.
No, it's slim, it's difficult for linesmen, but computers would be good. But moving on, just to balance this out, it wasn't just Real Madrid that benefited from offside goal decisions. This was Bayern Munich's goal, the second goal of the night. This was the build-up. Sergio Ramos put it in his own net. But as you can see, as the ball came into the box, Thomas Müller, he chested it down. Him and Lewandowski were both offside.
Right.
Okay, it was very, very tight.
That's another one. But that was by then I was not watching Leicester and I was watching this, and I didn't sit there thinking that was offside.
You've got to say, and this is exactly what I said. The injustices, I think, balanced each other out. Although Real Madrid got, arguably 2 offside goals counted for, I think they overall They deserve to win. They deserve to proceed. And I think they didn't do enough to beat Real Madrid on the night. Marcelo...
Over the 2 games.
Yeah,
I think it was
games.
close.
It
I think
was
the
close.
difference, it's easy to say it, but the difference was Ronaldo because he's such a good finisher. And because also a lot of the other... It felt like Marcelo passed because the other Real Madrid players were less confident of scoring past Neuer because he'd made so many saves in the tie.
Right.
And because he's such a good goalie. And I think Ronaldo was the difference.
So Ben just picks up Neuer, just to let you guys know. So Neuer actually, he played the whole game, okay? He played 120 minutes, but he actually finished the game with a broken foot. He is done for the season. He is gone. Bayern Munich announced that overnight.
I actually heard that he's moving to replace the Berlin Wall. Sorry, that was a shit.
I actually thought it was very nice.
That was a good joke. That was a good joke.
Sorry. I want to bring up also something about the offside decisions, the Ronaldo offside goals. It shouldn't detract from how bad Mats Hummels was last night. Now, I don't know if you were watching the game.
Yeah,
he was a bit injured at the end, but no,
he's just returned from injury though.
Right, no, but
that's
he
why he looked exhausted. He looked exhausted when I turned on, which was with about half an hour to go.
I thought Mats Hummels had a very dodgy game. He wasn't particularly good, and I don't know. Ancelotti should have replaced him. I mean, I think
but Ancelotti had made too many subs, which is why Vidal,
he brought on Kimmich afterwards.
Yeah.
So he could have. There was an opportunity.
No, but there are a couple of points to make on Bayern Munich. I think one of them is I was going to say about Hummels is that Bayern maybe through they've been a bit unlucky in recent weeks. They played some big games. They played Dortmund in the Bundesliga as well.
Yeah,
their squad strength has been shown up a little bit by Real Madrid. Like you've had players like Nacho who have played really well for Real Madrid, whereas they don't
even miss the days where Pepe was really leading the line.
So I think that was a big factor in the tie. The other thing which just really shocked me this morning is that apparently Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, this is what Jan Piotr said on Norwegian TV, is that Rummenigge, did he make a rant?
Yes.
Well, apparently he went to the changing room and told the Bayern players, you can say whatever you like.
Yes.
You can come out and say, look, the officials were against us. That, for Bayern Munich, is a huge statement. Like, that shouldn't be underestimated. Rummenigge is an absolute legend at the club.
Yeah.
He's also
in world football.
He's proper upstanding German, you
powerhouse.
would say. Yeah. And for him to come out and say that is a huge... That's like against Bayern Munich's history. Like, totally. Like, they just wouldn't do that. And that shows, I think, the level of the officiating and their anger.
So, as Ben just brought up, the Bayern players, they were free to say whatever they wanted, and some of them did just that. Here's what Frank Ribery did after the game. So Frank Ribery, he went onto Instagram stories. He wrote, it's taken me like a year to get here, and thanks to the referee, bravo, because he flagged up here the 2 offside decisions of Ronaldo. It was very clear. He wasn't the only one. I mean, we had Lewandowski coming out after the game. We had Robben coming out after the game. Ancelotti, they all cited terrible decisions. They were quick to call it out.
But over the tie... You would say Vidal missed a penalty at 1-0 in the first leg. They weren't great in the second half. They kind of got steamrolled by Real Madrid at home.
And again, you need to have that big game discipline, which Vidal didn't. Like, even if it wasn't a red card and if Casemiro should have got sent off, you're experienced enough to know that you have to be a bit more cautious than that in a quarter-final against Real Madrid, away from home, when you need 2 goals. You can't put your team in the shit, and that's exactly what he did. Whether it was slightly harsh, which I think it was.
Well, the actual challenge was harsh, but the rest of his performance it looked like he would be sent off. That's what I read. I didn't see.
Again, I actually think that until he got sent off, he was playing pretty well.
He's a brilliant player.
He was really controlling the play, and like I said, I think it was pretty end-to-end stuff, and had Bayern had their 11 men, I think they would have posed much more of a challenge, because that was a huge turning point.
I didn't have that much sympathy though. Vidal was making really strong tackles throughout the game. He got booked really early on in the game. As soon as that happened...
but what do we expect though? In a Champions League quarter-finals between 2 of the best teams in Europe?
Sure.
That's what it should be.
Sure.
There should be a midfield of Casemiro, Thiago and that. It should be quality players.
Going back to the Bayern defence, I didn't actually finish what I want to say. So I said Hummels didn't have a good game. Another player who also really disappointed me last night was David Alaba. He did have some good moments, but in general, in the first half, he really wasn't good, because there's a lot of discussion like who's the best left back in the world. Some people say Alaba. They compare him to Marcelo last night. Marcelo versus Alaba, it wasn't even close. Marcelo destroyed him. Was a hell of a lot better than him. Something else that happened. So last night could have been the last time. Well, it wasn't. Could have been. It was the last time that we're going to see Xabi Alonso in the Champions League. and Philip Lam. Philip Lam never scored in his 112 appearances in the Champions League, but at the end of the game, Xabi Alonso, who obviously Real Madrid, very strong connections, he got a great ovation at the end of the game. This is what happened. So there we have it, Xabi Alonso getting all the adulation that he undoubtedly deserves.
Yeah. I actually thought he was one of Bayern's best players. Like, he was spraying balls out like he's been doing his whole career. And, like, honestly, he's never really been dependent on speed. He's always been an intelligent playmaker. And it's really a shame to see him leave the game. I think Bayern will miss him and they'll need to spend decently to replace him.
Right.
Or give Renato Sanchez a chance.
Who's a totally different kind
yeah.
of player. Well, he's not a playmaker for me. He's much more of I'd call it a defensive mid that can kind of do the box-to-box thing, but he's not going to score you a lot of goals. So I don't know.
It was fascinating to see Cruz v Alonso in both games.
Right.
And because it flipped the way round that it had been in previous ties.
Right.
I think they're both great players. Cruz is terrific.
Yeah, and I think that people often, I won't call it undermine, but they have a lack of appreciation for someone like Casemiro. I think he's done a lot for Real Madrid. They've struggled to really find someone to fit that role. They kind of flopped a little bit with Khedira, who struggled with like injuries. I mean, they failed with SCN, they failed with Mamadou Diarra.
Yeah, since Makelele,
exactly.
you would say.
Like Lassana Diarra did the job for a bit, but like I think he's really come in and like he's really like made a name for himself, and I think Real Madrid fans maybe need to appreciate him a little
Well,
bit.
you mentioned Casemiro, you mentioned all the good stuff there, but here we have a graphic that's flagging up all the major decisions last night, all the dodgy ones, and you can see in the top level that there are a couple of Casemiro also got booked early on, and then somehow managed to avoid a red card. I think he could have easily gone on two other separate occasions. He took out Robin here. You can see very, very clearly.
We should mention Robin as well, because he was unbelievable.
Robin was absolutely sensational
Not as
last
good
night.
as the first game, but he was good.
Okay.
We have. Okay, so guys, we have a lot of comments, and it's all going on. Get in the comments, get writing. Thank you very much. A lot of people are responding to our question, which is, are UEFA biased? So we have. What about Bayern's offside goal? They wouldn't have made extra time without it. Ryan said that, so we've already touched upon that. Ryan, thank you.
Right.
Albert, referees destroyed the beauty of football.
It's an impossible job.
Yeah, well, it's an impossible job with a lot of controversy surrounding the fact that do we want technology to dictate the game, or do we want to maintain the tradition of someone officiating and being as vigilant as possible.
Right.
I think we've discussed this in the past. I think I'm all for goal line technology. I'm all for red card technology. I think stuff like throw-ins and corners should still be officiated, because I think there still has to be a balance between tradition and technology. I don't want the whole Hawkeye sort of tennis where there's an umpire that's basically just pressing a button to check if he's made the right decision for every decision. But I think it's a hard job, and I think, like I said, I think the game balanced itself out across the two legs.
Alfie's been in touch. He says whether this game happened at all still doesn't change the fact that UEFA's corrupt. We have
conspiracy. I agree with him.
This is my comment of the day so far. John Mathewson. I don't watch football. What are you doing here then, John? What are you doing here, mate? I mean...
No, stay and watch. No,
you stay and watch. Share, like, comment, tell everyone about it. But what the hell are you doing? So Real Madrid have gone through. Real Madrid are looking to become the first ever team to retain the Champions League. Do we think Real Madrid are going to go on and retain the Champions League this season?
I actually think, for once, Juve are actually going to do it. Like, I think I can't see past them getting to the final. They've absolutely destroyed Barcelona. I might be speaking too soon, unless Barca pull off another PSG, which I don't think they can do against arguably the best defence in the world, with Chiellini and Bonucci and the rest of them. I think Dani Alves has proven to the Barcelona faithful that it was a fucking mistake selling him. I don't care how old he is.
So you're saying Real Madrid will not win it because Juventus will win it?
Yeah, but it's not to say that Juve can't lose to Real. I just think they've lost 2 finals. They've been there in the last 2 or 3 years. In the latter stages, I think it's time for theirs. It's their time, basically.
What do you think, Ben?
I like I said, I watched a lot of the Atletico game, and I think they could beat Real Madrid over 2 legs or in a final. I mean, I know it's happened twice before and they haven't, but I think this could be their year. You just get the feeling about them. I agree with Juventus as well, but I think some of the things about Real Madrid, like you forget, like we talked about this before off air about how Ronaldo scored 5.
Right.
You know, last week we were talking about is Ronaldo the greatest player ever, and he's only accentuated that last night. Basically, you know, 3 goals. Admittedly, he didn't play that well, but 3 brilliant finishes. Okay, but he's up there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call the third one brilliant finish, but whatever.
I don't.
He scored a hat-trick and he scored 5 in the
Who's the last person to score 5 goals in the Champions League quarter-final? I don't know. I remember Messi scoring against Arsenal.
No, okay, but Messi's supporting cast is much weaker than Real Madrid's. Like, we can't... Look, everyone was laughing at Ramos last night for scoring the own goal, but it's only because he's so brilliant and because he usually scores in the 89th minute either an equaliser or a winner.
100th Champions League appearance.
Right, it was. But what I'm saying is Real Madrid showing so much character throughout this run and throughout their league with their league form as well. I don't think you can discount them. I've got a feeling, like you've got a feeling for Juventus, I've got a feeling for Atletico, but really if you look at it, it's difficult to see who will beat them.
I don't see Atletico destroying teams.
No. But what struck me as well last night is that Bayern had long spells of where they dominated the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think teams often go up against Real Madrid and they're like, oh look, we can dominate the ball, we can do all right, and Kroos and Modric sit back and they give you some space. But they have the most clinical striker in Europe, and basically Atletico don't.
Yeah.
Juventus is a big question about Dybala, whether he can do it in these games, or Mandzukic, or whoever's playing.
Barcelona have disproved the possession theory. They've disproved that. They had a ton of possession against Juve, and Juve hit them on the counter and literally fucked them every time. I think the same exact thing happened with PSG. I think there was a ridiculous stat. It was over 70% in the second leg. They still got battered.
Yeah,
just to a certain extent in terms of actual goals in the first leg and everything. So
you both have touched upon the Spanish League, Barcelona, everything. This weekend, what's coming up? It's El Clasico.
Yeah.
So will Real Madrid take on this form, and will they now go on and win El Clasico? A quick yes or no out of you.
I think Real Madrid will take it personally.
Yeah, I think they'll win. Yeah. Well, it depends what happens tonight.
Barca
could go through tonight, and you'll say something different tomorrow.
I'm not comparing, because it's impossible to compare.
Yeah.
But I think Barca are really in a slump now. They had a slight peak, and now they're slumping again, and it's almost like an Arsenal in the sense of the attitude surrounding them. Should they not win tonight, I see that, really affecting their attitude going into the El Clasico. And I think Real Madrid are definitely on a high. They're above them in
no
the
Neymar
Liga.
in the Clasico either.
No Neymar.
Might be no Bale.
There's also no Bale from what.
But that's the amazing thing. The other thing about Real Madrid, we talked about their squad strength the other day. Like last night, when it went to extra time, you were thinking, what can Asensio and Lucas Vazquez do? And they were quality. They're brilliant players. And then
they were playing against 10 men. Let's not forget that.
But when you see Ronaldo celebrating the third goal, you've got like Morata jumping all over him. And Morata's a great player.
No,
and obviously James is nowhere near even playing any minutes.
I mean, Isco 8-9 months ago was like a shoe-in to leave in January. He was hardly getting it, and he was incredible last night. He was really, really good.
I'm not sure he was at the level of Marcelo, Robin, some of the other players.
I think he was better than Robin.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think Marcelo was by far and large the man of the match, even though Ronaldo scored the hat-trick. I think he was phenomenal. But I think Isco has been excellent.
Isco on Saturday.
Last game as well. Yeah, exactly. And
we've been going through a lot of attackers here. We're going through Isco, we've been going through Robin, but they weren't the only attackers last night in the Santiago Bernabeu. There was disgusting scenes in the stands as once again the Spanish police. What is going on with them? They attacked Bayern Munich fans. If you haven't seen this, this is what happened. Well, there you have it. You could see, you get a little taste there of what the action was in the stands. It was pretty disgusting. I'm sure we're going to hear more about this. I think Real Madrid will probably get fined for this, or something will happen. You can't have that type of stuff going on in your stands, and there didn't seem to be any spark for why Bayern fans were really abused as badly as they were. Right. Let's kick it on. There was another game last night. Obviously,
there was. Yeah, I watched most of it.
Ben watched most of it. It breaks our heart, man. Leicester, the dream, the fairy tale. It seems like it is finally done. They are out. They did score. It was 1-1 last night. They went out 2-1 on aggregate. Ben, tell us about the game.
Vardy fucking scored.
Yeah, Vardy scored. I had turned over by that time because the other game was much more interesting. But I like I said before, Atletico are really, really, really good. Yeah. They're like. I'm trying to think of a team to compare them to, but you've all seen them like for however many years. Yeah. If they make the final, it's the third time in 4 years, which is just
they've made the semi-final 3 times.
Which is just brilliant. Right. When Leicester conceded, it was a really nicely worked goal. Felipe Luis cross, Sal with a quality header. It was a really good header. Right? No. Better Call Saul, isn't it?
Yeah, never.
Oh, I see.
I was pissed with Albrighton though. Albrighton, he was tracking him, and then it came in between like Fuchs, Saul came towards Fuchs, and he should have gone with him if you wanted.
But the thing is, the move started quite deep, and it looked like they were through. And Wes Morgan, who is massive, pulled out like a brilliant challenge, and it kind of felt like, oh, okay, we're good. It's still 0-0, and then they stun them. They're honestly, again, Griezmann, the guy, it's a bit like with Dele Alli. It's a bit like with Dele Alli, where you can't really say Dele Alli's a midfielder anymore. Yeah. You can't really say Griezmann's a forward. He's like a defensive midfielder who sometimes goes up. Yeah. It's crazy. He is unbelievable.
So here's the question, Ben. Diego Simeone, Antoine Griezmann, non-stop rumours, non-stop that they are leaving. Why the hell would they leave Atletico Madrid?
Because of the style, though. Because they won't be expansive. Because they won't ever go anywhere and play football. Like, Griezmann probably thinks to himself, look, I could go to a side in a good day, Man United, but say a level up, Real Madrid, for example. And I could play in a good team with playing good football. Whereas you can clearly see, and it is beautiful in its own way, you see that they have a plan and that they know exactly what they're doing. And players like Godin, Felipe Luis, like just the whole team, Sal, Koke, their whole team is totally brilliant.
Gabby,
they're warriors.
Gabby, who's never played for Spain.
They're brilliant.
Warriors.
But they're not. But you're never going to go. They're never going to play like Brazil '70 or like an expansive team.
But this is a team that are regularly getting in the Champions League, the semi-finals, finals. Why would you leave?
Because maybe you put it out there and say the reason they haven't taken that final step is because they knacker themselves out by going through the whole season playing like this.
When you just get to the final 4 teams in Europe, it's bloody hard.
Yeah.
But they are a big team. I mean, like, you've got a tough time convincing me today that
moving from
the money is the only issue. But moving from Atletico Madrid to Man United, if you're Griezmann today. Why would you do it?
Because he wants Premier League, and because Man United are historically.
Who cares about Premier League football? He's challenging for La Liga titles. He's challenging for Champions League titles.
They're not challenging for La Liga, though, aren't they? They're out of the La Liga title.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not this season, but not this season. Generally, in the past few seasons,
I'm gonna get
Man United aren't challenging for shit.
I'm gonna get slated for this, but I think Simeone is an unbelievable manager. I'd take him at any club I supported. but he's just like a Tony Pulis on steroids, like on mega steroids. He's a tactical genius. He's probably amongst the top 2 or 3 defensive coaches in the world, and he knows how to counter-attack and how to really manage and get the best out of his players.
I don't think the thing is with Simeone,
but he's never going to be like, tiki-taka. He's never going to play exciting, breathtaking football, and that's no matter where he goes. I think it's kind of like Wenger. Even if you put him at Paris, he wouldn't spend that much money.
Right.
So that's what I think about Simeone. Even if you moved him to Barcelona,
Simeone is not the same. And Simeone's next job will be at Inter Milan or Argentina, maybe if Sampaoli doesn't take it, and that's probably a few years. But he's like really loyal guy. Like he's not going to like a club in England. I think he's going to Inter Milan because they're his club in Italy, and he played for them.
I do think Griezmann could benefit from a move because I think he's done all he can do at Atletico. I think for a while there was a little bit of a lull in terms of transitioning, especially with transfer bans for Real Madrid and Barcelona, and I think that allowed Atletico to kind of seize the day, win La Liga, really challenge and get to Champions League finals. I think they've kind of done as much as they can do, especially if Simeone leaves in the next couple of years.
I think this is their year. Also, it's worth saying some of the other players as well. Like I know Griezmann and Simeone get all the press, but Felipe Luis, who probably won't leave there again, is really good. Koke, Saul, Oblak is terrific. Correa, who was on the bench, and Carrasco is a really great and was ex-Monaco. Is a really good player. Yeah. And I think it could well be that some of the Premier League teams pilfering the Atletico players would be better off with a Saul or a Koke, an Oblak or a Carrasco rather than a Griezmann, although Griezmann would fit in any team. But that's how it might
I want to take this logic and I want to flip it. So we've just been saying all these Atletico players, have they maxed out their time at Atletico? Well, what about Leicester? Have the Leicester players all maxed out? The dream is now over. So are we now going to see Jamie Vardy leave? Are we going to see Mahrez leave this summer? Do we think that these players, and this is when they're going to get off, or do you think they're going to keep the squad together?
If they don't leave, I think they'll regret it for the rest of their career beyond their retirement.
And where do you think these guys can go now? Because they've obviously fallen, right?
I would couch that a little bit. I thought Mahrez was really good last night. He was in the first half, especially. He was really lively. I would say there was also promising.
Vardy could still get in the Arsenal team. Yes, he could.
I would regroup if I was them. I would regroup. We discussed Shakespeare before, whether he stays or leaves, either under Shakespeare or a different manager. They've got enough quality to rebuild. And to become a good
rebuild what? They had one good season.
To challenge in the Premier League again. At least the top 4. Yeah. They've got Schmeichel.
No, have they not had a particularly...
off your tip. No, they're not challenging for top 4 and not even close.
Really?
They don't have the character.
What about Europa League or a League Cup or an FA Cup?
Forget about it. They're not even a top 10 side really anymore.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, they definitely are a top 10
Well,
side.
as a Spurs fan, are you worried about the penultimate game of the season at Leicester?
I'm worried because I want us to do well and challenge for the league, but I'm not worried about
But you're not worried about that particular fixture?
I shat myself when Tottenham went to Leicester, and even when they came to White Hart Lane last season, I don't have that same fear anymore. They're not.
But they've got good players. Players like Ndidi have done well this season. Yeah, but they've still got Vardy and Mahrez. And Ben Chilwell was really good when he came.
You know what? It's Tottenham 5 years ago. They could go and on their day beat Chelsea, like they beat Liverpool when the chips were down, and they can go and they can lose to a Swansea. Like that's exactly how I see Leicester.
And also, you look at it. The aggregate score was 2-1. The first game they were very unlucky with the penalty decision. It was not much in it, and a lot of the reaction, I saw Ferdinand and Gerrard say they were very unlucky. And
they're just not consistent.
I'm not that down on them. I think I know the season's not gone that well for them, and Ranieri's gone. But I think they've got enough to rebuild, and I think they must have a huge budget.
Mahrez.
Do you not think they have a huge budget to rebuild?
I know that they're in the top 10 richest clubs after last season.
They don't need to sell.
They don't need to sell. But I think Mahrez and or Vardy, one of them will.
No, Mahrez will go. I think Vardy should stay. I know he'll definitely do what he wants.
You're not replacing anyone like Mahrez who will have the impact on the team like he did for anything less than 40-50 million. And with all due respect,
they might find another jewel in the rough. They might just.
They can't.
That's what they do.
We're not in that era. We're not in that era of football anymore. and then you become a feeder.
It's like 2 years ago, they found Kante.
Yeah, but you
and Mahrez.
Yeah,
but they're not the club they were 2 years ago. They could do that and get away with it.
Well, we will have to see. So, guys, we've been asking you today: are UEFA biased? 508 of you think yes, UEFA are biased, and you're pointing to the Cristiano Ronaldo offside goals. If you think UEFA aren't biased, hit the no button. That's currently on 317. So let's have a quick look forward to tonight's game. Champions League still going on today.
Two games.
Two enormous games. Let's start with the big one though. Will Barcelona, can they do it again? Right. Will they come back again? Are they going to turn over Juventus?
Juve win.
Well, Luis Enrique.
Barcelona win, but Juve go through. Isn't that the most likely?
Yeah, I think that's very
Barcelona
likely.
win on the night, basically.
But
right.
I think Juve will probably sneak an away goal.
Okay.
I'm not so sure about that. I'm not convinced about that, actually.
Dybala's a monster.
No, I know that.
He's amazing.
But they've also got players that I know Mandzukic has done well for them. I really don't rate him, and he's due to start.
I really rate Cuadrado.
But they're not quite the same quality. Like they are. The defence is really good. I think they'll lose like 1-0 or 2-0. Okay. And it could be tense like last 20 or something.
Well, Luis Enrique said, if we score the first goal, the crowd will score the second goal, and the third goal will then come. Yeah. So, on Ben's rationale, if they get ahead, Barcelona are fancying their chances.
But let's
Juventus are the team with 20 minutes to go, if they're 2-0 down, that they will be able to see it out. PSG would not.
I was going to say, let's make things clear. Juventus's defence versus PSG's defence is no comparison. Yeah. They have arguably the best defence in Europe if you look.
Arguably the best defence of the last decade.
Yeah, on paper. So it's not going to be the same kind of stakes, I think.
And then we've got the second game, the battle of the youth teams. Basically, Dortmund against Monaco.
I'm actually tempted to watch that game.
I'm really tempted to watch.
No, because
there's a lot going on.
There's a lot riding on whether Dortmund. Were they just put off the first leg by the events with the coach and the bombs and everything?
I do think it was totally fucked up that they did it the next.
Yeah.
I think they're going to
have a point to prove on that. I really do.
So Thomas Tuchel came out after the game. I'm sure you might have seen this video where he was like, "We weren't consulted. UEFA have confirmed, and it's been confirmed by Borussia Dortmund since, that whilst they didn't speak to Tuchel, they did speak to the sporting director. I think Michael Zorc before. Right. It was so Borussia Dortmund did agree to playing this game. So. Just want to put that out there. I'm not saying it's right.
But you can see their players. What their players have come out with afterwards. Weigle's been very public about how they were affected by it.
Yeah.
So I think they've got a point to prove tonight. Plus, Monaco do let in goals. They do concede. They score obviously tons.
No Fabinho tonight.
Yeah, no Fabinho as well. Mendy's coming back. Maybe not that fit.
Yeah.
This could be. We predicted on the site 3-2 Monaco, which would be a great game to watch. If Dortmund go 2-1 up. That would be terrific. And also Marco Reus back as well.
Marco Reus, and another chance to see Mbappe tonight. He is absolutely fantastic.
And Ousmane Dembele, one of my favourites to watch.
Dembele linked to the Premier League.
Who's going to watch that? Like I know.
I'm not going to lie.
If Juventus score early, everyone's flipping over.
I'm not joking. That's not like the Leicester Atletico game for me. Like, no, that's something I actually want to flick back on.
Majority of Europe's watching Barcelona.
Of course. But
because they'll ask the PSG.
I want to look at Mbappe.
That's what I mean. I know this is not the discussion at all, but that's what I really enjoyed about last week's game. I know it was a real tragic reason that there was a game before the next two games last Wednesday, but that's what should UEFA. They may be biased, but they also can't schedule games very well. Right. I think they should consider putting Europa League games on Tuesday night and Wednesday night early, and I think they should stagger these games.
Taking away all my Thursday night jokes if you do that.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, but that would be better for everyone. Then there would be no complaining.
Guys, I'm keeping my eye on Pulisic.
Michael Bennett says, "Stop talking over each other." Thanks for the top tip, Michael. We appreciate that. Any tips that you guys have, put them in the comments. We'll read them.
It's really hard not to interrupt Ben, but. It's fine. Pulisic tonight. He's going
to he might start. There could be Pulisic, Dembele, and Royce behind Aubameyang. That is really exciting.
That is totally fair. Okay, so just other news that's going on in football this week. I know Harry Redknapp's back. Yeah, great.
I almost said don't care, but
no. There's a point on that everyone's laughed about Harry Redknapp coming back, but really, why? Because the guy's got teams promoted for the... Seriously.
I'm just remembering the meme that floated around yesterday.
The ball smacking his face.
No, Nico, Jermaine and Crouchy, let's get the band back together.
Yeah, but...
I could totally imagine that phone call happening.
True.
Wheeler and Dealer.
No, that is true. But the guy's taken Spurs to a top 4, which before he did it was like really unlikely. He should have been the England manager, and he's taken Portsmouth out the Championship. It's not that left field. I know he's a bit older now.
No, and he set the foundations as well for Spurs to be effective.
Yeah, I think it's harsh.
Yeah,
Look, their position in the league is that he'll keep them up.
Yeah,
he should.
Hopefully he will. We love Ari. Another story that broke today in L'Equipe. They spread the news that Serge Aurier, the PSG right back, is on his way to Manchester United for 20 million euros this summer. They say that they've spoken, that Mourinho has spoken with Aurier, that Aurier has told him that he wants to go. This is kind of a shocking story. I really didn't see this happen, especially because Man United, their best player, arguably, is right back Antonio Valencia. So what? Where's Aurier going to play? He's not going to displace him in the team as far as I can tell. Plus, Aurier has a history. He has a history of being an idiot. Yeah. He's done the slit throat gesture. He's been banned from the UK in the past. He's got a litany. His rap sheet is enormous.
Sexual assault?
No, I think that's someone else.
Police assault.
Police
I remember,
officer.
but the big issue with Aurier is with the video he slagged off Laurent Blanc and Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Right.
So is he going and Zlatan leaving, or is he? Are they all right together? I'm not so sure they are.
Do you think this is going to happen, or do you think it's only paper talk?
No, I think it's paper talk.
Does he need a new contract? When's his contract?
No, 2019. It's clear that PSG want him out, though. Like, I
also think
like
the Man United would have to, accept that Valencia wouldn't play. Darmian's an absolute flop, and they need to sell him.
I think United should set their sights higher than Aurier if they want to sign a good right back.
No, I
agree.
I can agree with that.
Anything else you guys want to bring up today?
The Spurs title challenge, but I'm sure we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that probably on tomorrow's show, where we will look back on the last night's Champions League games and have a look forward to this weekend. It's a massive weekend. Premier League, FA Cup is back.
El Clasico.
It is. All right. On that note, we got plenty of work to do. These guys are already talking. They're in their own world. We are going to bounce now. Hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.
Fuck up the wave.
See you later, guys. Peace.